Hello and welcome to Training Time with Andrea
and LaQuisha.
So we're going to go over, as you're working in the classroom, how to conduct assessments. And so for our K through 2 programming where we're working in our booklets, and some of you may have some 3rd grade classrooms or 4th grade classrooms where students are working in booklets and in your composition books. So depending on what level the child is at, that's the type of assessment you'll do. So we're going to go over our high frequency word assessments first. And so you're going to find the child's book, and then you're going to go to their current list. And so you're going to look at where the last sticker was. So for this, it's 8. So we're going to go to list 9, and that's where you'll start. And so depending on if they know a majority of these words, so if they miss 5, then we'll have you go back to that last starred list and go through that list to make sure that they know almost all of them. If you're finding that, like the list where they got their last pass, there's still more than 5 words that they don't know, you'll just keep going backwards until you find the list where they know almost all of the words. For some of you, you haven't been in these classrooms or working with these kids, so just be sure to introduce yourselves before you start the assessment. For students who are in our ABC booklet, you're only assessing them on lists 1 through 5. We're not going to do assessments on letters, so we're going to go ahead and demonstrate the assessment. Hey, Kaylee, how are you today? I'm Miss Andrea.
I'm doing good, Miss Andrea. How are you?
Good. You know how you've been working on your words with your mentors all year long?
Yes.
Well, today I'm gonna test you on how many words you know. Are you ready?
Yes.
Are you ready to show me how many words you know?
Yes.
Awesome. All right, we're gonna go to list 9 because that looks like the list you're working on. Can you pick a marker for me?
Blue.
Awesome. All right. Let's go through our words.
Happy.
Yay! High five! You got all but 1 word. Good job! All right. So since we've determined that she knows most of her words on list 9, what we're going to do now is count how many words Kaylee knows. And so because mentors have passed her 1 through 8, we can assume that she knows all those words as well. And so in the booklet, lists 1 through 5 are kindergarten words, and so they have their own count. And so you'll see a K, and the last number is 61. And so you'll take that 61, and then as you move through to list 8, you'll see that there's 70 here. And so you'll add that 61 and that 70 together, and then you'll count how many words they knew on that current list. And so there are 20 words on this list, and so she knew 19 of them. So we have 61 plus 70, which is 131, plus 19, if I'm doing my math right, is 150, hopefully. And so what you'll do then is you'll find Kaylee's name on the assessment list, and you'll mark 150 words in May. And so you'll repeat that for each of the students that's on the list. In special cases where you have students who they're, say, on list 9 or whatever current list they're working on, and you find that they really don't know a majority of the words, right? So if they don't know 5 or more of those words, what you're going to do is you're going to move to that previously passed list. So then you would assess them on list 8 for Kaylee. So if Kaylee didn't know more than 5 of the words on list 9, we would go back to list 8 and we would repeat that assessment, right? And if you are finding that, okay, Kaylee doesn't know 5 more words on list 8, then we're gonna move back to list 7. And so you wanna stop at the list where the child knows the majority of their words. And so maybe Kaylee knows all of the words on list 7. You're like, okay, fantastic. That's really the list that she should have stopped with. Then you would do your count, right? So then you go the 61, here's 50. You can also count the words that she knew on list 8 and list 9 and add those into the total. So maybe she knew 10 words on list 8 and 5 words on list 9, and you would add those into her total. We are not going to go past the list that the student was currently worked on, because even though they might know some of those words, we didn't participate in helping them learn those words. So you will not go beyond the list that they were currently working on with them. Moving into 3rd through 6th, so we're checking fluency, and we're going to do one last words per minute. And so, as many of you know who worked with Passages, in the file folder, right, there's the student's name, you have your first reads and your second reads. And so you're going to find the last passage that they read, and make sure that what is denoted in the file folder is also what you're seeing in their composition book. And so what you'll do is you'll just go ahead and read that last passage with them, making sure that they know it fluently. And what you can do is you can read it together once and then do a timed reading. And so what you'll do is you're going to do a timed reading with them. So you can go ahead and don't forget your timer, right? Set that minute, and then have them go ahead and read through the passage and then mark down their words per minute. If you're finding that a student is really struggling with that last passage, you can go ahead and go backwards. So if they're on like 3.30 and they're really having a hard time with 3.30, go to that previous passage to see how they're doing with that. If they're really struggling with 3.29, jump a couple back. It could be that mentors pass them too quickly. And so we want to find the passage where they're able to read it fluently, and that is what you'll list in the sheet as their kind of like last passage of where they really ended. And when you do that, go ahead and circle it for us so we know which one we're actually marking down as our data point. If you watch this video and you have questions, feel free to reach out before you all start on that Monday. And that's it.
Yeah.
Don't forget that LaQuisha and I will be around that day. So if you're in the middle of assessing, call us. We can walk you through it if you have any questions.
Thanks for watching.